Truly Amazing Life family and Moon.team fans. Today I have a session on less strategy, more psychology, follow through daily, and achieve your dreams. And the reason I wanted to talk about these things today is because I sent out an email recently asking people what are the top 2 things that you want in your life, and if you could wave a magic wand, what would magically appear, right? And it was interesting some of the things that came back. I just want to share some of these with you without revealing who they were. There's a female who wants to be a published author and an artist, and she knows that she will achieve these things if she puts in the work. Another female wants to have a healthy body, to have the guts to start running and join a gym. She can't move past that thought. She feels like she's stuck. There was a man who wants more self-discipline, more confidence, more self-confidence, and to be 80 pounds lighter. So again, another health desire. People who want to travel the world and feel great every day. More time with family, more self-esteem. So all of these things are the desires that people want in their lives, but are missing in some capacity or another, right? And so what I want to talk today about is how do you do that? And I kind of want to talk about how to do it and at the same time show you that asking how to do it might be a little bit of the wrong question, because this is what everybody wants, right? There's a strategy and a psychology for success. And what everybody wants is that strategy. They want that, to-do list. What do I need to do first? What do I need to do second? The problem with this is you probably already know what you need to do first and what you need to do second. If you want to start running and start working out, you probably need to join a gym, right? Or find a personal trainer. Why isn't it that we take those steps? The reason is because we don't have the right psychology for it, right? Because if we had the right psychology, if we were already there, if we were going to be successful at what our desires were no matter what, we would make it happen, right? We would find the strategy. It almost doesn't matter what strategy you use, because you can use multiple types of strategies to reach any specific goal. But we haven't gotten there yet because we don't have the right psychology. And the key in psychology, ultimately, really, what is having the right psychology? It's really about getting energy, right? At the bottom of everything that we want, we have to have a basic energy. If we get out of bed in the morning, we're not feeling good, we feel overwhelmed, we feel depressed or whatever it might be, that creates such a low energy state that when somebody says, hey, all you have to do is A, B, and C, you can't even get up the energy to read that you need to do A, B, and C on that day, right? And so here's the deal, is we are doing in our lives exactly what we are programmed to do based on the conditions we have around us, right? And so it's not really about coming up with a to-do list of things to do, although that is important, and we eventually have to get to that. But the first step is really setting up the conditions so that we will follow through, so that we will have that energy, right? And so today I want to talk about a process of simple daily conditioning. How do we create these conditions around us so that we will have the volition, we will have the willpower to actually complete the things that we know if we were to do those things would make us feel good, and then we could start getting on that trajectory upwards versus the trajectory downwards, all right? The first thing is to have a basic strength and physical strength, taking care of our bodies, taking care of the just general energy that we have in our bodies is foundational. And so I've only picked 3 here. There's, physical, emotional, and financial strength are all absolutely vital. If we are struggling in any of those areas, it becomes very, very difficult to get the energy to do the things that we know we want to do. And so having a foundation of physical, emotional, financial strength, and also I believe, from my spiritual background, a spiritual type of strength as well, right? And so there's also relationships, there's other types of strength, but there's a basic conditioning that we can do to strengthen those things a little bit day after day after day until we get the energy to start working on our dreams, all right? The second thing is, and this is the most important one, is having a team where there is a success culture already there. It's a really interesting story. There's a researcher, I can't remember his name right now, he's a famous guy who wanted to study cultures of success, and he picked the United States swimming team because the U.S. swimmers are the best of the best. They win most of the gold medals, most of the medals, not just the Olympics, but all the world championships. Both the men and the women have this culture. And his point is that if you want to be a really, really good swimmer, or if you want to be really, really good at anything, get onto a team where all the other people are already achieving those things. Because once that happens, our bodies and our brains are basically mimicry devices, right? We tend to mimic the people that are around us, and we do it even subconsciously. We can't even control how much we mimic the types of people that are around us. So it's really important to find a team that has a success culture, again, to create that condition for us to make it much more likely that we'll follow through, because everybody else is doing it around us, and so we will naturally be compelled to do the same thing. Team and environment are very similar. I mentioned environment separately here because what we really need is a distraction-free sort of environment. You know, I tend to bring up Facebook a lot, and I love Facebook. I get to Facebook probably once a day, at least, once a week. But Facebook is a distracting environment, right? We may go there with the best of intentions to only check on our family or to share something, but then we get sucked into a lot of the negative news of the day, a lot of people complaining, a lot of people with issues that come up. And so when we are in the mindset of needing to do our work, right, of wanting to condition ourselves, we need to be in a distraction-free environment, and preferably one where there's a success culture that supports us in what we're trying to do, okay? The fourth thing is also related to team, and that's accountability, right? It is very, very difficult. We are social creatures. We are meant to have other people around us who count on us. When we don't feel like other people are counting on us is when we are at our worst, right? If nobody's counting on me outside of me, it's very difficult for me to get the motivation to do something on my own. But I have the bigger mission, right? Aaron and I have this huge mission to serve and to help people all over the world, a lot of it for free, right? But to do that, we hold ourselves accountable to the success of other people. And so finding that group of people that will also hold you accountable to a higher standard is vital, right? The other part of accountability is taking measurements, being completely honest with ourselves, right? If we're overweight, let's find out exactly how much overweight we are. If we, and then as we start going along, we're either doing things that we said we would do or we're not, right? And so keeping a little scorecard for ourselves and not getting serious and overwhelmed and feeling like, beating ourselves up if we're not perfect every day, but simply having that baseline measurement of numbers that we are tracking to make sure that we're progressing in the direction of our dreams, right? This is what life is about. We have dreams for reasons. We have dreams because we have higher callings and all sorts of other things that I'm not going to get into in this video. The final thing is positive news. We live in literally the greatest time in human history. And if you don't believe that because of all the negative news that you're seeing, you need to get off of the negative news and you need to find some of the positive things that are going on. Check out humanprogress.org. If you go to that website, you'll see how far in a way, life is better today than it's ever been in human history. There are far more rights for minorities, for women, even for poor people to advance in this world. Anybody who has the right ambition can literally get online and teach themselves anything. This was unheard of in the history of humanity. There's less disease, there's less murder, there's less violence of every kind, there's fewer wars. In 1985, we had 65,000 nuclear warheads aimed at each other, ready to blow everybody up. We've got 10,000 today. Okay, we still have further to go, okay? But let's look at how far we've come. Let's realize that we literally live in the best time in world history, and if we're not taking advantage of it, then we're really a part of the problem, right? If we're complaining all the time and talking about everything that's wrong, we're missing the 99.999% of everything that's absolutely right. And we can create the conditions for ourselves. We can get ourselves in an environment where we will be much more likely, not every day, maybe, we won't be perfect, but we will become much more likely to actually follow through on the strategy that can turn our lives around, that can give us the weight that we desire, that can get us on the track to having the relationship we want in our lives, to getting more affection from our husbands or our wives, for being better parents for our children. There's so many ways that we can get better in this world. We just have to do a little daily conditioning for ourselves, get in the right environment, and then those conditions, once they're in place, will almost compel us to become more. That's what I've got for you today. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to be doing more of these types of videos in the future. So if you love them, great. If you don't like them, then you don't have to be on this email list, because I love doing this sort of thing. And my desire is to serve you, to help you become more and become the best version of yourself that you can. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.